Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 6 of season 2 of Severance. Last episode really kind of got to see Helly reconcile with everything that she's missed. You know, the fact that the team that she had previously left is just in shambles. Irving has been fired. Dylan is distanced himself. And then Mark is just utterly defeated. Feels like anything and everything that they've done up until this point and everything that they had planned is just futile. And on top of that, there's the shame that he's carrying around because of everything that happened between him and Helena. And then there's just the conflict already that exists between the situation that exists in his current relation to Miss Casey / Gemma, and of course, his feelings for Helly. It's just a mess. He also doesn't feel like he could trust anyone or anything. And then, you know, we spend the episode with Milchek a lot last episode as, you know, he's getting reprimanded for all of this kind of happening under his watch. Mark not actually getting any work done. He's come down. He was like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. But then again, somebody had pointed out, and this kind of, I didn't see it in this way in the reaction, was that he delivered Mark pretty like substantial intel. The choice to be like, she's the next in line for the Egan family or anything like that. Like, he let slip some, what I would imagine is some sensitive information, but I didn't pick up on that the first time around. But I saw that conversation kind of cooking up in some of the comments. Yeah, the episode ended with Mark outside and then having these flickers, these visions as he's like, he's getting a little impatient. He's only had the one little episode whenever the reintegration occurred, the first little session. So he's been trying to press, maybe we need to do it again. And she's just like, we can't rush this kind of thing. And then as soon as he's walking away from that conversation, he has a little episode start to kick in. He starts to hear Gemma's voice, but it's Miss Casey giving Mark his little rewards at the end of the day that they would get, where she would just read off all these random supposed facts about their Audi and stuff like that as this gift. Also, Irving's Audi has confronted Britt as he continued to stalk him, and then that conversation there, the confrontation led to Britt actually inviting him over. And I've seen some people like, I didn't feel this way. I mean, I did feel some level of suspicion, but by the end of the exchange, I was mildly disarmed, but I know a lot of people are still keeping their guards up, thinking there's something definitely fishy about that. You know, about Lumen is never going to be telling the truth or anything of the sort. That's the idea there, but I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that, and that's supposed to happen the next day. So I don't know if that's going to happen in this episode or if that's something we're going to still build up to. With that all said out of the way, let's get ready to hop into this episode, guys. If you want to see the full reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you can remember the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for actually the entire episode. Over there, get the same thing for all the other shows and movies we cover on the channel. You also can suggest and vote what movies to react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel, help us do the things we do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate if you enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. With that all said out of the way, let's get ready and hop into episode 6, Attila. Here we go.
Everything was like so white.
We're making progress. It's not just waking up on a table, it's human interaction.
Yeah.
This didn't feel human. This felt like a nightmare. I mean, why is she rattling off a bunch of facts? What are they doing to her?
All I know is she's essential.
She didn't even recognize me.
And you didn't recognize her.
When you get her out, it will be the two of you out here together.
Bargaining. You know what that is? It's one of the stages
Of grief.
You think about all the things you do, all the ways you change to get that person back. But for me, it might actually happen.
Yeah. He has a very rare opportunity in front of him at the moment.
There were directions on the back.
Well, let's see it.
I left it there behind the poster.
Why didn't you just take it?
I just didn't. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble right now.
Okay, well, I don't give a shit about that, so I'll go get it. You said it's behind the poster of you actually being brave?
Okay, yeah, fuck you. You don't know everything.
Then tell us.
Well, I still have a hall pass, so I can go to the break room now, and then we can start after lunch.
Maybe.
Did everyone sever their balls in the elevator this morning?
Oh. 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 Uh-oh. He's starting to feel it now, too. On the other side. Oh, I mean, he was having that Gemma moment, though, but this is different.
Mark. You okay?
Dude. Oh, the image of Helly / Helena. Haha. Who?
I feel I should remind you, you cannot graduate from this fellowship until I have deemed you wintertide material. This will mean using your time well, focusing on your own duties, and eradicating from your essence childish folly.
I understand, sir.
I shall be busy for the rest of the day. I trust you can steward the floor in my stead.
Of course.
You may sit at your regular desk.
Thank you, Mr. Milchick.
Wow. This little, like, the tension between them now is palpable.
Won't work together because they know what will happen if we do. I'm gonna go get that map.
How many we shared vessels?
What?
Had sex.
Oh. This is the
Okay.
conversation we're gonna have right now.
Like in a wellness session?
Oh no, no, oh no, no.
Miss Casey, it was at the retreat. It's in your tent.
Oh.
He's doing everything but saying it outright.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, I thought it was you. I'd been having those feelings since before the OTC. And so when she, I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, Ellie. She tricked me. I mean, I wanted to, but she tricked both of us.
It's probably another tactic. Something to drive a wedge between us. Like,
Ellie.
I'm gonna go for a walk.
Ellie,
I mean,
sorry.
maybe
I thought
it was, but
But it
maybe it
wasn't me.
wasn't.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go walk around.
God. Yeah. Ah, lovely. I mean, she's definitely got to process that information, but I'm glad that didn't, like, he didn't bury that any longer. You know, Milchick threw that out there. It's like, oh, she doesn't know, does she? And then he was like, okay, well, I need to tell her, but if she's going to hear it, it better be from me. And she immediately is trying to understand because she's always been trying to get out of here and stuff like that. So, like, she's like, okay, well, why would she have done that? I think she simply caved to some carnal pleasure for once in her life or something of the sort, some semblance of connection, just using her as a mask to get that. Because for her, the way she talks about innies, they're essentially just toys, things. He was a warm vibrator in her head. That could have easily been how she justified it, for all we know. I don't know, man.
Scuba.
Thai food.
Nice.
Though you did take scuba lessons last year.
Yeah? Which sea?
It was in a pool.
Okay. Cool.
You've had a lot of phases. Scuba diving, woodworking,
Can't hold a
So
job.
he's really diverse.
Always.
garage beer making.
Yeah,
Maybe
okay.
I'm trying to find something I excel in
Maybe.
up there. Like I do down
Find
here.
that one thing.
I sometimes wonder if you're just not happy.
Sure, it's not that. Here, with you, I'm super happy. I just, like, want to hear about all my offspring and stare at your face. Sorry, that was weird.
A little weird.
It was really sweet. I like it. I like this.
What if she starts to feel more of a connection with this version of him now?
I wish we could really be together.
I mean, we are, aren't we?
You and him are, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we try the hug again? I kind of like the hugging.
Our entire existence, man. It's just so heartbreaking. I kind of thought this might start to happen. Aww. This is this stuff I was talking about, man. When you get into these weird moral grays. Like, what is that? Is that cheating?
Oh, hey, I was coming to find you.
If you didn't know, you would think like she does, probably, and be like, it's not. But, it's fucking...
100%.
Which means you wanted to. With me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What sucks is that she got to have that and I didn't.
Hmm.
Hey, do you want me to, like, describe what happened? Like, I feel like you have every right.
No, I don't want her memory. I want my own.
Wait, what, are you saying what I think you're saying?
Would you like that?
Yeah, I'd like that.
All right, let's head to the bathroom.
But how?
Wow. Is this really gonna happen? Or this, not as private. They were having bathroom conversations already. I feel like that, maybe not the most comfortable of spaces, but there's a window view of the hallway right there.
Ta-da. A tent. I'm nervous.
You do. It's okay.
Okay.
There's something like very innocent about the way this is all playing out, you know? And I think that's because they really, you know, like anybody else growing up in the span of their lives and stuff like that, they're trying to figure themselves out, figure out life itself, and then they're learning little by little by little by little. It's like that clumsy first time. I'm glad that she's kind of taking her autonomy back in the ways that she can, at least, while she has control. You know, you have a whole paperclip comment. I don't know what constitute backs to front or whatever the fuck they said he was doing wrong. I don't know what the proper supposed position of a paperclip is meant to be.
You must eradicate from your essence childish folly. You must eradicate from yourself childish folly.
Wow.
You must abandon childish things. You must grow up. You must grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. Grow. 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 Grow.
Jeez, man.
Was it different with me?
I think that's a yes.
Oh no, you're bleeding.
Wait, what? Oh no, that's him.
Humidity on the severed floor is maintained at a consistent 45%. It must be something else. Did you punch him?
I mean, not today.
Do you have a deviated septum?
Well, I don't know what that is.
Any other symptoms? Any auras or hallucinations?
No.
Yeah, we'll keep that to ourselves.
Where are you?
Oh no.
What?
Oh no. Oh no.
Mark?
What?
Were you just at Lumen?
Oh
What
no.
time is it?
Are you
Shit.
at Lumen or in your basement with me?
How would you know right
Do you remember a
now?
hallway?
Which
A black
which one is he? Where is he really at the moment? Is this a memory or is this the memory?
I remember a desk.
Shit. I'm so confused.
I remember a desk. I remember. Shit.
That was another crossover memory. A recent one. That's good.
Oh, okay.
You'll feel gaps.
I mean,
in time until it all comes back together.
When the
Oh,
fuck is that gonna happen?
We need to enhance, speed up the process.
Is that safe?
probably not.
There's a slight chance of hemorrhage.
Okay, so me bleeding to death.
Not necessarily. We'll flood the chip itself.
The chip.
What?
Through the hole in your head that you've already
Okay.
got.
You know
Oh, the intro where the hands come out.
Close, it's
Okay,
happening.
get this shit
We
off.
need to
right
push.
now, please. Get it off. I'm gonna go eat.
Alright, here we are, it seems.
Who the hell are you?
At least somebody's fucking with them.
It's a joke.
Okay.
Oh. Come on in. Oh. What the heck?
You never fucking know anymore, man.
Attila,
Yes, Attila.
did you just ask about the glaze?
I did.
Well, don't.
I was going to say, we also have corn.
We could feed him a pile of loose corn. What your innie ever saw in
Oh, yo!
Stein is beyond me.
How did you come to be at the company? Well, as a matter of fact, I was guided to Lumen's store by Jesus.
Jesus Christ?
That's the one.
You should just leave it at that and wonder what the hell you meant.
No, we'd been attending the Lutheran church for some years. I'd been what you might call a scoundrel in my younger days. So one Sunday at breakfast, Fields asked me point blank, do I think I'm going to heaven?
Yes, one asks at breakfast.
I pretend to think about it, but I know the answer is no.
To which I replied, what am I supposed to do up there for eternity all by myself?
I see. So we hop on the train to church, and it so happens the sermon that day is about severance.
He said the church's stance is that innies are complete individuals with souls that can be judged separately from their outie.
So that was their goal. If this self wasn't able to make it in, maybe a version of them could.
We figured that if it were true, it may be a way for part of Bert to,
end up with him.
So the hope was for Bert's innie to go to heaven.
Yes. With me.
Dude, he's got to be the cart guy. I mean, unless he assumes he was going to go to heaven with or without him like he did. That was kind of part of the joke. But it kind of implied that they both went. And the intention, the hope, was that these other versions of themselves would end up transcending together. But Bert ended up catching feelings for Irving on the inside and then getting ejected. So then what is... Because there's got to be a reason why they hid that dude's face, as like they did with the dental equipment.
You didn't tell me how to go. You went back to Lumen, right?
Oh.
The vibes are completely different here, man.
They canceled it. I didn't see him.
And she's keeping it a secret now.
Canceled it. What happened?
They didn't say. Guess you got too busy.
Yeah, you could say that. Wow, what the fuck? Who's gonna sit down? Oh. And this wouldn't be a situation where the other wouldn't be aware of the other at this point. They are both very aware. Do I know you? I mean, he might not be able to put that together yet. I'm not sure how in the know of the upper echelon of Lumen he is.
I'm Helena Egan. I work at Lumen.
Yeah, no, I
Okay. So he does know.
Hope they're feeding you at work. May I?
Please.
This is so weird.
Really great to run into you. I've heard nothing but good things about your work, by the way.
Thank you. I've heard nothing at all about my work, so...
Severance humor. So clever.
So easy.
Look, I'm sorry for the systemic error from the other night.
You mean the overtime thing?
Yes. The OTC. It never should have happened.
So you know all about it, then?
Yes, I know all about it. I'm like the head of the company, Mark.
Are you, though? Not yet, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
You're clearly not dumb.
The one who invented a revolutionary medical procedure.
Hey, now, that was not me. That was my father. You should meet him sometime.
You want to take me home to Dad already?
Yeah, I think it's finally time.
She's already fucked you.
Sure, let's do it.
But not. God damn it, man. This is so fucking messy.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
What is her game here? There has to be an
Seriously,
angle.
I'd love to hear about your experiences sometime.
Okay, yeah.
And I know you've already been through so much with losing your wife and all. Hannah.
Gemma.
Right, Gemma. It's a car accident, right?
That's right.
Yeah, such a shame. She was so young.
Thank you.
She's poking and prodding. See if he had a noticeable, discernible reaction to that.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It's just about finished here. Well, it was nice to meet you, Helena.
Yeah, you too, Mark. What is it?
He's got a draw.
Good night.
Yeah. With the reintegration, like, escalating now, I wonder if that was these feelings pouring in, like, because there was, like, a subtle lean, almost like he didn't understand. It's almost like Cobell in the way that she was like, what's going on in there? That seemed like such a fucking chess game to see if she could see it, if there's any cracks.
We used to call each other Hon. Then about 10 years ago, that became Attila.
Because do you know history?
Oh, okay. That's the joke they're making. That's the reference, at least. I mean, I assumed it was Attila the Hun, but I didn't know how it applied to what we're seeing here.
Do you think you two ever made love at work?
Feels, Jesus.
Oh.
Can we not just be pragmatic adults about this?
That's what this is about.
Zero chance that the two of you had unprotected sex, and so I thought the right to ask. Sounds like I'm mad, but I'm not. Cards on the table. I've been talking to Pastor Gale about this. I believe that innies deserve to experience love. And I hope it was beautiful.
Sorry for being a dick. Let's do it.
Tonight.
Oh! Hello! So he's just got a permanent hole in his skull right there. So like a permanent soft spot.
How long will it take?
It'll be fast.
Fast? How fast?
Fuck! Holy shit. I knew I needed to be ready for that, but I still somehow wasn't.
Nervous. Yes.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Move like that. You have to keep your head still.
Uh-oh.
Mark?
My car's in the driveway. She knows I'm here.
Oh no.
Hey.
Dude, I left you like 5 messages. Are you better?
No, well, I'm still sick.
Well, you can't not pick up when we're doing corporate espionage shit.
Well, that's kind of what he's in the middle of at the moment.
I was thinking.
Yeah, look, I'm already trying something else.
Okay, what are you trying?
Don't worry about it.
What the fuck does that mean?
I'm doing it myself.
Why are you trying to cut me out of this?
I'm really not, Devin.
You literally are.
Okay, fine, I am, but...
Fuck you, officially.
And what is that smell?
What smell?
Yeah, what? Having motor function issues here? Is his body... Is he smelling something from the inside? What is he...
Oh my god.
Oh!
Mark!
Don't touch him!
Who the fuck are you?
Oh my god, this is escalating so fast.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Oh no!
Thank you for the spare hand. His feels... He's fine. He gets fuzzy. Like saying I worked at Lumen 20 years ago, which is, of course, before Severance even existed.
Of course.
Sorry.
Did you?
No. This was fun. Yeah, so we should do it again sometime. You mean Fields or you me?
Oh, what? Yeah, no, I meant with Fields, but, you know, it's... Either way.
Good.
Okay. Good night, Britt.
Good night.
Dude, I legitimately... I have no clear read on anything we just experienced there. I feel like there's a game being played, but also feel like there's not. Yeah, I think he knows way more than what Fields knows. Especially that whole, like, he's fuzzy about these facts and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Like, I think there was like a genuine concern from Fields about knowing what happened between this person and his significant other, you know, like legitimately. And, you know, I think he's trying to be maybe the better person because of this idea that he does believe that these innies have their own souls, and he's trying to respect that they're technically, while again, like many things are blurring these lines in this show, because there's a lot of that in this episode, but like the idea that these innies are separate in their own way, that they have an independent soul that is their own. There's some arguments to definitely be made to that case, you know, because what it goes down to, what is a soul? What are we? Are we our body? Are we our mind? Are we something metaphysical, something that goes beyond any of that? Where does that begin? And if a body, you know, that is shared, if we're like, let's say the memories, all the defining factors that formulate our existence are different, but also sharing the same vessel, do each of those then have their own soul? Are they their own person? God, there's so many examples of this, because there's the Burt Fields Irving thing that's going on here. And he's trying, like, as much as you can tell that he's kind of conflicted about this whole thing, Fields is just like, he's trying to stay on the positive side of it. He's a little drunk as well by that point, but like, he's like, I think they deserve love, and if they found it, I hope it was great. But I think he wanted it to be with him. I think he's severed as well. I think he's the cart guy whose face was obscured throughout that entire transition when he was going to O&D and carting away those dental tools. You know, I think that was what he was hoping, and then learned that that didn't happen. And now that's making him question a bunch of things. But then, like Burt, this guy who's got the frolic tattoo, who we've seen a bunch of times, is doing some digging, going through these files, all these people, I guess candidates who eventually became severed or who were severed, going through these things, and he saw the record for Burt. I didn't get a chance to see what exactly it said. Was he mixing details? Is he hiding things because they're getting closer and closer to these things? Or no, oh, shit, I didn't even put that together, right? Hold on. That was Irving's house that he broke into. Is that right? So this whole thing, I think now, was to lure him out so that they could go in and investigate what his Audi knows. I want to look at that scene again, now that we're talking about it. Yeah, that is them. It's a bunch of records of severed employees. Duplicates removed, severed employee list, lives near Lumen. It's just like little details on all these different individuals. Some of them have severance dates. Some of them have addresses, ages, lawsuit information, a wreck. Is she married? Yeah, because we know he's been investigating like severed people. But what was the Britt thing? His address is the only thing that he had on here. And then some names have just specific pairings of letters underlined. Okay, it's not the Tempers. So I don't know if that, I don't know. That may be something else. Well. So, yeah, so Britt is definitely in Lumen's pocket on the outside in some way. He's gotta be, especially with that look and this invitation, leaving his home unattended so that they could go in and see what he's found, what he knows. Fuck. Anyway, I got derailed because I didn't even put that together until I started talking about it. Anyway, what I was getting at is this idea of the separation of their identities, because you have that mirrored throughout the episode in a lot of different ways. Because obviously there's the reconciliation of what happened on the Orbito, where, Helena had her way with Mark and what that meant and how that was Helly's body, but it wasn't Helly. And that this person that is not her has been puppeteering her around as her, pretending to be her, as if it's just this frivolous little act. And she feels so violated by that. And she just really, really wants her own autonomy, her own existence, her own memories. And she's able to look around that and she's like, well, that was her. I understand you wanted to do that and you wanted to do that with me. So then do that with me. I want that memory. I want us to have this memory. I don't want to share in hers. I don't need you to tell me about what happened. We're going to make this memory. So you have that dynamic, that dichotomy there. And then there's the branching relationships that both Marks have with Gemma / Miss Casey. Then you have what's going on with Dylan and his wife, who is now lying about visiting his innie, in which she is now almost kind of escaping her home life. Like the way she talks about him. Dylan's got these grand ideas. He's always like, oh yeah, what ocean did he go scuba dive in? He's like, oh, what was your first date? Blah, blah, blah. It was this big grand romantic gesture or something. He was like, no, it was Thai food or whatever. He was like, oh, cool. And she's talking about how, she talked about before how he could never really like lock in a job. He was always changing jobs, cycling through them. And just like with his jobs and his work history, he would just always try to find a new activity, a new thing. Like he thought he'd learn scuba diving. He thought he'd do this. He thought he'd do that. He's just kind of listless. She seems kind of locked in, but now is using this little visitation right she has, this access to a version of her husband that maybe she fell in love with at one point and is kind of doing that all over again. We don't know how she feels about innies and outies, because like she said, it was like, you were with me all the time. He was like, no, he is. I think she wasn't expecting that response, because I don't think most people out there have any idea what it is like in here, what that actually means, because they don't want to know, and I think they don't question it as much as they probably should. I'm just wondering if she sees him in the way that I think Helena might. I don't think she would, but then again, she's kind of going down here to get this intimacy she's not getting at home. Lying about it, escalated the hug into a kiss, and who knows? It may not stop there. I'm just like, there's a lot of complications, blurred lines. There's so much room for debate. I think it's hard to explain what I'm like thinking about in my head in any kind of coherent way. But Mark is starting to experience more signs of the severance, and the way they baited us with the stuff that was going on the inside, where that turned out to be his outie just reliving those memories. When he had that little freak out as Miss Wong was kind of patching him up or whatever after he had that nosebleed, that he started freaking out and glitching between realities. And then for a hot minute, we didn't know which one was which one was the present memory. Where were we really at that moment? And that was brilliantly done. That was such a fantastic choice until we finally rubber banded back to his home in the basement as they are going through another session, and he loses track of that memory. He lost his grip on it. You know, that kind of sparked the conversation about, we need to get through this faster. We need this reintegration to take hold quicker. So he's getting impatient. He's getting frustrated, especially now that he's seen Gemma. He's got like this fire lit in him. They kind of wrestle with whether or not they want to proceed with this other procedure that might be able to expedite the situation. Meanwhile, between their little break, he goes off to get some dinner, in which he's confronted by Helena, who I wonder, I mean, they have to know the name of his wife. That's gotta be on record somewhere. I think they knew that. But I wonder, like, what the strategic purpose of her saying Hannah was. To see how he'd react, to kind of what? I don't know. Like, there was, like, she still wants to talk about that night. She's engaging with him. She's engaged. Like, she, as this persona, has now interfered and interacted with both versions of him in ways he has no clue about right now, unless he's put that together. If that's one of the things he was able to access through all of this little thing. They never really touched upon that, but quite clearly he's more than aware of who she is. And before they went their separate ways, there was that like little moment there where they just kind of lingered on one another. And we kind of saw a similar moment when Helena was pretending to be Helly with his innie, where it was hard to discern where the mask was and where the feelings truly lie, and what actually can, if anything, bypass the severance itself. You know, we've talked about core personality traits that are just kind of innate, that are fogged by the personal experiences. So like the similarities between the innies and the outies. And sometimes I get this vibe with both interactions, with Innie Mark and Helena now with Mark. And there was this draw, and it's just like I said before, it's hard to tell if it's the subconscious part of like that Innie Mark that is kind of drawing them together, or it's just one of these situations where they just naturally, no matter what or which version of them, just have like this natural pull. And again, if that is the case, that raises a whole other series of moral quandaries about how Gemma is going to fit into all of this once, or if we ever actually see that to its conclusion, which is fascinating because there's so many complex elements of this, just the idea of love, a bond, of these connections. But then again, counter to that, there is that moment where Mark is talking about and reflecting upon having seen Gemma, and just the fact that there was absolutely zero recollection in her eyes when she was looking back at him, and how that made him feel now that he was the one looking. That also never occurred to any Mark either, any of the times that they were there. What if the heartbreaking tragedy of this all is that this connection between the Marks and the Hellies is stronger and does bypass the severance itself? That there is a part of each of them that feels that feeling. Oh, God. That's another thing I didn't even consider until I just started talking about it, and that kind of breaks my heart, because then again, it just leaves Gemma on this weird little island. I don't know. It's just something to think about too, about if there is anything other than reintegration that actually bypasses it. Well, we know for a fact it does, because Irving was able to get around it with these paintings in one way, shape, or form, at least. It's wild how much this show just kind of juggles and keeps juggling up in the air. It hasn't dropped a single freaking ball yet. But there's so many things up in the air, and sometimes there's things up in the air I don't even know if we've quantified what's up in the air at the moment. But after that interaction, he went back and he was like, we're doing this now. And they went through the procedure, but then Devin showed up and he was like, my car's in the driveway. She knows I'm home. I got to do something. So right after he had all this shit done to him, he started hearing things. His hand wasn't working right. and he started foaming at the mouth, and he hit the ground, started seizing. Well, he was trying to keep Devin out of it, but now this has happened, and the doctor had to rush up to check on him. Keeping that under wraps has now exploded. Oh my God, man. What an episode. Then Milchek, after the peer review, again, trying to lock in, and then he's almost in his own way trying to restrain himself, knowing that those comments, those negative critiques that he received were from Miss Wong, and the way that he told her to stop being, in his own way, was talking about how she needs to discard these childish behaviors, focus on the work and all these things, and then he goes to his little private corner in one of the kind of storage closets or whatever that place is that he goes to quite frequently, where they've got all the different supplies. He has a corner set up with a light and a mirror, and he's just just drilling himself. It seemed like in his own pain, his own frustration, his own anger, he's directing that back at himself because he feels that, as much as he was saying that to her, that was something that he was feeling about himself, and it seems like he's trying to swallow it all, grow up, as he said. That raises a lot of questions for me as well, because we also don't exactly know the full nature of how these employees are also selected or vetted or what they go through, especially considering Miss Wong, who apparently needs his approval to move on to whatever the next stage is in her career at Lumen. So I don't know, man. There's some fascinating elements of this that are just, I feel like we're just at the tip of the iceberg. Even still at this point, man, the show is so dense with its themes, with its complex lore, as complex as it is. These little, all these different spider webs of connectivity on top of all these different philosophical debates that are just at the center of just the show and the existence of this process, this company, these people. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. I don't know, man. I might not even be making sense at the moment. This is also coming right off the heels of me watching The Substance, which also kind of tackles some very similar things as well, which I won't go into because that movie is fucking wild. Anybody that hasn't watched it needs to watch it with as little context as possible. Whose body is it? At the end of the day, even as the innie, you're doing the same thing to them that Helena did to her. In essence, Mark is pursuing Helly down here without any knowledge and fornicating without any knowledge or consent or anything of that from the Audi, from Mark S. on the outside. When you're in the driver's seat, it's always very easy to make it about yourself. But this is a situation that is just wholly a whole other level of complicated. Where does that go? Because it's not until Mark maybe fully reintegrates, it's not like you can have a conversation or you're even allowed to have any kind of conversation with your Audis. There's no conversation there between you two. For Mark out there, when he signed up for this, his expectation is he's going in there, he's not going to be burdened by his pains out here. He's just going to go in, work, not think about it, get the job done, make the money, go home. He won't know any of it himself. I don't think he signed up for his body to go around boinking anybody on the clock, So it's the reverse of what Helena did for Helly. When you start to kind of break down what's kind of going on, or just the way that these people are being used in the way that, Dylan's wife is using him against the knowledge of her own husband, the other Dylan. It's fucking wild. Anyway, whatever. That's kind of all I have the energy to talk about at the moment, man. I want to know where everybody's at on this. I want to know your all's read on the dinner table exchange. Also, what exactly do you feel like Helena was trying to gauge there in that conversation with Mark? I think there's a couple of different opportunities. I definitely think there's a couple of different options there, but I'm not exactly sure which one I necessarily really lean towards. I don't know, man. I just the show, the show. It does things to you, man. Anyway, that's all I got for right now, guys. I'm going to pass it off to you. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We're carrying the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Vandy Share, York Korskov, Robert Alguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Cottrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, Watchtower. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.